Nestled in the rolling hills of suburban tranquility, Harmony Park was a neighborhood that seemed plucked straight out of a postcard. Manicured lawns stretched like emerald carpets, tree-lined streets whispered with rustling leaves, and charming homes stood as testaments to order and charm. At its core was the Homeowners Association, HOA, an entity established to preserve property values, maintain aesthetic uniformity, and foster a sense of community through shared rules and collective responsibility. For years, this system worked seamlessly. Monthly dues covered essential services like landscaping, snow removal, and security patrols, while clear guidelines ensured no cracked sidewalks, overgrown shrubs, or unsightly vehicles parked on driveways. Residents attended annual block parties with smiles, children played freely in cul-de-sacs, and disputes were rare, resolved quickly by HOA board members who seemed approachable and fair. Beneath this veneer of harmony, however, discontent simmered among some residents who felt stifled by what they saw as micromanagement, questioning whether decisions truly reflected the majority's will or served only a vocal minority. The first crack in Harmony Park's polished facade appeared one crisp autumn morning when Daniel Harper, a middle-aged accountant with a penchant for tinkering under the hood, backed his aging sedan out of his garage too quickly. His tires screeched as he reversed, and before he could react, the rear bumper clipped the edge of his neighbor Lily Chen's shiny new electric car. The impact wasn't catastrophic. A small dent marred the otherwise flawless surface, but it was enough to send ripples through the tightly knit community. Daniel immediately got out of his vehicle, hands raised apologetically, and approached Lily, who stood frozen at her doorway, staring at the damage. "I'm so sorry," Daniel stammered, his face flushed with embarrassment. "It was an accident, I'll take care of it." Lily nodded curtly, though her expression betrayed a mix of frustration and disbelief. She had purchased the car just weeks earlier, proudly boasting about its eco-friendly features during a neighborhood barbecue. To see it dented already felt like a personal affront. Still, she appreciated Daniel's prompt apology and agreed to discuss repairs later that evening after both had time to cool down. What neither anticipated, however, was how this minor mishap would spiral into a much larger conflict involving the HOA and expose deeper fissures within the community. By midday, news of the incident had spread like wildfire through Harmony Park. Gossip traveled fast in such close quarters, fueled by whispered conversations at mailboxes and cryptic posts on the neighborhood's private Facebook group. Some sympathized with Lily, calling Daniel careless and suggesting he should have been more cautious given the narrow driveways. Others defended him, pointing out that accidents happen and urging leniency. But then came the twist. Someone anonymously reported the incident to the HOA, alleging that Daniel's reckless driving violated community safety standards. This accusation set off alarm bells within the association, whose board members prided themselves on upholding rules designed to protect residents and preserve the neighborhood's idyllic image. At the next HOA meeting, held in the clubhouse's cozy conference room, the agenda included a discussion on parking etiquette, a thinly veiled reference to Daniel's mishap. Board President Margaret Ellis, a stern woman in her 60s with a no-nonsense demeanor, opened the floor for comments. One resident suggested implementing stricter speed limits within the subdivision, while another proposed banning older vehicles deemed unsafe. As the conversation spiraled into broader critiques of parking habits and driveway aesthetics, Daniel shifted uncomfortably in his seat, feeling increasingly singled out despite having already apologized and offered to fix the damage. When Margaret announced plans to draft a resolution requiring all homeowners to submit proof of regular vehicle maintenance, many attendees murmured their approval, oblivious to the growing resentment brewing among those who viewed these measures as unnecessary micromanagement. Meanwhile, Lily found herself caught in the crossfire. While she appreciated the HOA's concern for safety, she hadn't intended for her damaged car to become the centerpiece of a neighborhood-wide debate. Friends approached her cautiously, asking if she planned to pursue legal action or demand additional compensation beyond repairs. Her husband, James, urged her to let the matter drop, fearing prolonged disputes might strain their relationships with neighbors. But Lily couldn't shake the feeling that something bigger was at play here, that the incident had tapped into pent-up frustrations about the HOA's increasing intrusiveness. As days turned into weeks, tensions escalated. Daniel received a formal letter from the HOA notifying him of a $250 fine for negligent operation of a motor vehicle, citing vague clauses in the community handbook related to safety violations. Infuriated, he attended the following board meeting to contest the penalty. Standing before a room full of skeptical faces, he argued that the fine was excessive and punitive, especially since he had already taken responsibility for the accident. He pointed out that similar incidents elsewhere in the neighborhood had gone unreported and unpunished, accusing the HOA of selective enforcement. His impassioned plea struck a chord with several attendees, including Lily, who began questioning whether the HOA's response was proportionate to the situation. The turning point came during a heated exchange between Daniel and Margaret, who accused him of deflecting blame onto the HOA instead of accepting accountability. Voices rose, tempers flared, and the meeting descended into chaos until Lily stepped forward, silencing the room with a simple question: "Why are we letting this divide us?" Her words hung heavy in the air, prompting introspection among those present. She recounted her initial frustration over the damaged car but admitted that dwelling on the incident only deepened animosities. Instead, she proposed focusing on practical solutions, like revisiting driveway design to prevent future collisions, and fostering open communication rather than resorting to punitive measures. Inspired by Lily's remarks, several residents volunteered to form a task force dedicated to reviewing existing HOA policies and recommending improvements. Over the next few weeks, this group met regularly, engaging in constructive dialogue facilitated by a neutral mediator. They examined everything from parking regulations to dispute resolution procedures, identifying